Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Lojak. He's Mike Brenner. We're the odds couple. We come to you from sportsbookreview.com. It's week 6 in college football. This is our Friday review show, recap show. We got a lot of crap to cover, so we'll try to make this snappy. Of course,
on top of the weather that's canceled some games.
Yes, that's one of the things we have to get. And we got this new setup, which is nice because if one of us feels embarrassed about our recent performance, we can kind of hide our head behind it a little bit.
Hey, you know what though? I see a vision of a future radio show. I'll leave it at that.
All right, so here we go. First I'll read off our picks, and then I'll also mention the ones that got canceled. Mike Brenner, this is what you have so far. Boise State first half -10. Oklahoma first half -6.5. Washington first half -4.5. Washington -7.5. Michigan first half -17. Ohio State -17.5. Florida State first half +1.5. Florida State +3. Pittsburgh -6.5. UNC first half -0.5. UNC -2.5. Marshall first half -6.5. Marshall -10. Tennessee +7. And Florida State Miami under 64.5. Those are all picks that we gave in the videos through the week, and you also had 3 picks canceled, 2 LSU picks and the Georgia pick.
Because that game was totally canceled outright.
But even if a game just gets postponed, like the Georgia game, the bet still gets canceled.
Absolutely.
Right? So you can add it again, but you have to add it at the new line.
You know what I like, Pete? You pay attention to detail and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
There's never meet a more honest guy in the world than Pistol Pete.
Moving along, my picks so far that I have: Clemson, BC, first half under 22.5. Boise State, first half -10. Boise, New Mexico, over 61. Ohio State, first half -17.5. Georgia Tech +7. Kentucky -2.5. Western Michigan -18.5. Western Michigan first half -10.5. Virginia Tech +2.5. Army +4.5. Marshall first half, Marshall full game. Wyoming +10.5. The Tennessee +7. Michigan State under 49.5. Kansas under 64. And Florida State +3. All right, Mike,
I got to ask something real quick because I heard something in there.
Yeah.
You said Pitt. You're going Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I have
that
Georgia
means
Tech.
head-to-head.
Head-to-head.
Are you sure you want to do
Remember
that?
this? Yeah,
Didn't that
I'm
hurt
sure
from last week?
It did hurt, and I looked into the game a little bit, and they could.
You still feel good about it?
Not
because
that
I feel
great.
better about it.
I feel.
I'm thinking maybe we ought to throw a $100
No,
bill.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to bet it. I think I might be on the wrong side of that one, but that's okay. I'm going to keep it.
I just had to ask.
Yeah,
Head-to-head.
there are a few picks that I've given though that I'm going to pull, and I'll tell you which ones they are. I'm pulling them. I'm putting them on the other side. First of all, I'm pulling the Ohio State first half. I don't trust the line movement. The line movement makes me nervous. I looked into the game a little bit more.
And Indiana's not people think this is going to be a walk in the park, and it's not.
I'm not necessarily saying that I think you're on the right side or that it's a loser, but I am going to pull it myself. So I'm giving Indiana +17.5 on the first half. You're staying with it.
Okay, I got you. You're just pulling it.
Yeah, so I'm pulling it by taking the other side.
What's the other one?
Then the other one that I'm pulling, this might surprise some people here, might surprise you. And this one, the line moved in my favor, so I'm getting a better line on both of them. Okay. I'm pulling the Western Michigans against Northern Illinois. I think maybe it's a big line here. Western Michigan has done great, but maybe they've overachieved a little bit. Northern Illinois isn't that good. Maybe they've underachieved a little bit. It's a big line. We saw exactly like what in the Georgia Southern Arkansas State game. You remember? Arkansas State lost to an FCS team. Georgia Southern was doing awesome. They didn't cover, and then they lost outright.
And I think that's mental, Pete. They overlooked. Yep, you might be right on that.
You see stuff like that in college football.
And another thing also, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Northern Illinois in the last 4, 5, 6 years has played some tough ball, has really been a ticket casher, so they know they're underachieving. Yeah. You might be doing good there.
So I'm pulling both those. I'm adding Northern Illinois first half and Northern Illinois plus about 20, which is nice. I could get a middle, but so I'm pulling those. And then there's a bunch of other picks that I'm going to give. But Mike Brenner, what would you like to add? Shade,
okay, I'm adding one for tonight.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm just adding one for tonight. I dove in and I love it. I'm going Clemson first half -10, Pistol Pete.
Okay.
All right. Dabo Swinney had a talk in the locker room after practice the other day with his team. All right, and he just literally pumped this team up. All right, he told them, you're on your way to a national championship. He is building confidence in this team. And even though I know BC's got a defense, and also a lot of teams kind of, okay, we can relax. It's not going to happen here. Clemson has got to keep the pedal to the metal. And I think BC's going to feel a little bit of what they felt when South Carolina, I think it was. Somebody blew them out 49-0. And they also had a couple other battles. And what I found out, they don't start fast. Clemson will. Like they did last week, Clemson was up like 20-something to nothing at half, and then boom, they only scored like 8 points or whatever after. I love it. I think the first half is an absolute cover. Clemson, first half -10.
All right,
Pistol.
you got it. I'm on the under on that one on the first half as well. Hopefully we will
maybe it'll be 21-0 at half. We both cash.
That would be awesome. Is there anything else that you're liking, Mike Brennan?
Yep.
Let's hear it.
I dug into this one.
Okay.
All right, and again, you know me, Pete, emotion and all that mental and momentum. Michigan. Harbaugh is not whatsoever happy with his team's offensive performance. He's thrilled with the defense. He gave the game ball to the defensive coordinator.
One sec. You know you already have Michigan.
Of course.
Okay.
But what I want to add is the full game.
Okay, all right.
Because I like it. Something tells me, Pete, he's got these guys so fired up, all right? And I'm on the half, but he gave the game ball to the defense, but in the same way, psychologically, let his offense know, this ain't cutting it. Oops, you're better than that. And I'm telling you, they're not going to stop. They're going to pour it on. I think this is going to be a big, big blowout. Rutgers is absolutely in for an ass kicking. What's the best line?
Well, here's the issue. I've got SBR odds right here, line shopping.
There's no issue. What is the issue?
It opened to 26. Right now, market wide, it's 29.5 or 30, but the Greek is hanging 29, and if a sharp book hangs an off market line, we'll give you that. So we can give you a minus 29, minus 115.
That's what I'm taking. I'm looking at a 35-point win, Pistol Pete. Full game, Michigan, so I'm adding that.
All right. Well, certainly there's been a lot of line movement there, and if there was sharp action on Rutgers, the line wouldn't have moved to where it has.
And I believe that.
So there's either huge public action on Michigan and no sharp action the other way, or some early sharp action on Michigan, which is possible.
Cool.
So
Stay
we
tuned.
shall see.
I got one other pick.
All right.
And I'm
Let's
done.
hear it.
Three-team teaser. I'm going to go with Bookmaker, so I'm just going to name the teams.
Three-team teaser. Yeah, just name
Clemson, Michigan State, and Florida State.
Okay, you
God,
like
I
that
love
Florida
it.
State one.
Yes,
because
I do.
There was a guy who posted in our video some interesting stuff. He was saying that he was obviously a Miami homer, but nevertheless, I love it when those people who are fans of one team or one conference post their in-depth knowledge. And
because they got a lot of stats.
He implies that we are on the wrong side of that Florida State Miami game.
Well, guess what? I'm going to imply that I think this week I'm on the right side, and I mean that because that's where I throw numbers and trends out the window. They're better. Mark Richt ain't as great as you guys think. Tune in, all right?
All right, so I got a few other plays that I'm going to add.
Pistol.
All right, the first one I'm going to add is Auburn, Mississippi State under 54.5. I think they're going to, that they're going to be it's going to be a relatively low-scoring game. Auburn has put up huge numbers against the terrible teams they've played, but when they played better competition like Mississippi State, they've gone way under. So I'm taking that. And then this is one I was debating all week long, and I'm going to add it.
Okay.
Minnesota. Iowa is a team. I said from the beginning of the year that Iowa I thought was an overvalued team, and each week I was deciding whether I wanted to take them. One week I took them against Iowa State and got burned on that one. This week Minnesota is a team on the rebound with a nice quarterback, a balanced offense. The line has gone down a little bit. I think I bet it at 2 or 2.5, and now it's down to 1, but it's enough. I'll take Minnesota.
I got to throw this in.
Ahead.
Iowa snowballed last year on momentum, but when they got to the bowl game, that's when all was revealed. And guess what, Pete? They haven't gotten over that. Now it's mental. You're right. They are overvalued. I like
So
your
I'm taking
pick.
Minnesota there. Then I'm also going to take Vanderbilt and Kentucky under. I already have Kentucky on the money. Oh no, on the spread, and I'm going to add the under there. Vanderbilt's
What
defense,
is the under at?
Yeah, it's about 52. So I'm going to check the best line and give that to myself. But I bet that one, and that one might cut a little bit close. But I think both teams have good running backs, and I think that they're going to rely on their running game, and their quarterbacks are a little bit injured. And then I'm going to take one other pick that's a little bit of a risk, but I'm going to take it. Colorado and USC.
They're all
right?
a risk.
Yeah, they're all a risk. That's absolutely right. This one is a little bit more of a risk because it's going against line movement, right? Okay. Colorado, USC, the total opened about 60.5, got bet way up to 63.5 or 64 or something. But I'm going to take the under, and I think that Colorado's had a big offense so far, but their defense has been a little bit underrated and undervalued. And I think that USC, Clay Helton's going to try to have them play a little bit more of a smash mouth style, and improve on defense and play a little bit more of a conservative offensive game. And so I'm going to take the under.
I got to throw this in
Go
there.
ahead.
I like that play because Colorado really knows they're a decent team, and they're ranked now. They have a shot. So defense wins championships. So they're going to lock down on D, and I like that, Pete. I love. You know what? I got to throw this out to our viewers. Earlier in the week, Pete said my strengths are totals, but early in the week. I don't feel it. Later in the week, that's when you tune in, and that's why you just ripped all that off. I love
absolutely. And I start off when the totals come out on now they're coming out on like Monday nights, but crunch them, then crunch them again, and by the end of the week it's okay. And I'll tell you right now, Mike Brenner,
Tell me.
I don't want to jinx myself, but
don't do it.
but right now on covers I'm top 5. Top 5.
Keep that low.
Keep it low. All right. Okay, here we go. So that's about it for my added picks. Anything else you want to? We could discuss some interesting lines, but actually it's kind of a weird week. There's not really any marquee matchups.
It is, and this is that week where weather games are canceled and people are looking into what, and it does. It changed a lot of the dynamics. But I think this is a week where teams that are underachieving, all right, they better show who they are. I think it's that week, and I think some of the teams that might be a little cocky and overconfident, I think they're going to get revealed.
And so of course, the tempting one is the Alabama-Arkansas game. Arkansas usually plays them tough and usually plays them close.
There's a lot of the so-called expert picks, guys, which I respect everybody's. I'm a sponge for everything. The majority of them are on Arkansas.
Yeah, sure,
I mean,
sure.
literally, they're looking like a 17-13 game.
Yeah,
A few of them
yeah.
said, hell no, outright win with Arkansas. I don't think Saban's going to let his guys overlook it, but I know Saban also is going to let these guys know every time we come here, it's a fucking battle. Excuse my language. This is going to be a tight game.
Yeah, well, I bet the under when it was 50.5. I still have a lean to the under at 49, but not strong enough to give it in this show. But I think that wraps it up. I think we got overall a bunch. We got a lot of picks, Mike Granner. We covered all these games pretty extensively throughout the week. And don't forget to tune into the Bet DSI show where the Sharps have been killing it in both college and NFL. And in a few hours, I'll be talking to Brent from Bet DSI, and he'll give us the inside scoop on all the sharp action. That's a great little thing we have.
Sharp, me and you, we're pretty sharp from time to time. You always dress sharp.
We might be.
And people
Yes, I
comment
do.
that mustache is sharp.
There's also a possibility that you're watching a show being presented by two sharp guys right now. The jury's still out a little bit.
It is, but
we'll
you know what
see
I do
over the
respect
next
about
couple
you,
months
Pistol
and
Pete?
years.
You stick to your plan with your,
Yes.
honestly, with your routine, with how you pick
Yes.
games. You never waver off that. I've watched that, and I commend you on that. And you know what? It's something that our viewers need to learn. It's called discipline.
That's
You
right.
never waver,
That's
Pistol
right.
Pete. I mean
well,
that.
thank you very much. I appreciate it. And on that note, let's wrap it up and move on to the NFL, Mike
Let's
Brennan.
go have a cold beer.
Always on the go? Bet365 has one of the top mobile platforms in today's market. Sign up today and don't let your busy life keep you out of the game.